Okay. Okay. Is someone coming? The thing is, when I present people, I hope people are able to join. I'm not sure. So maybe I will just keep it in reading mode itself so that we'll know if people are coming. Okay. So, yeah. So for the past few weeks, we had been discussing some of the qualities of Vaishnavas, which they very nicely exhibit in the bhajans, and which are very nice, glorious qualities for us to meditate and imbibe also. So we saw about humility and gratitude. So in that sequence now, today's session, we'll try to meditate on the quality of surrender, which is a very prime quality. Uh, so first of all, what is surrender? No, we'll try to understand what is surrender. Can anyone share your views? What do you understand by surrender? Any thoughts? Anyone can share?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, surrender, I think to have full faith in Krishna, that
Hmm.
whatever happens, he will
Mm-hmm.
take care of it. So that is.
Yes. Pleasant surprise for me that Gaurang is there. You told you will not be coming. Very nice to see you. Yeah. Surrender means to have full faith. Whatever happens, Krishna will definitely protect. Yes, very nicely put, Gaurangi. Any other points?
Mataji,
Anyone?
taking shelter.
Taking shelter. Correct. Surrender means to take shelter.
Mataji, accepting Krishna's will.
Accepting Krishna's will. Yes, very nice. Accepting Krishna's will.
Mataji, resisting Maya, Mataji.
Resisting Maya.
Resisting and surrender, because resisting Maya as in like resisting the opponent, and the opponent in our case would be Maya in this material world. So we have to surrender fully to Krishna.
Yeah, like if we don't surrender to Krishna, we end up surrendering to Maya, right? So that is a
exactly.
nice point. Yeah, very nice point. And I think Vrindavani is saying offering ourselves to Krishna. Yeah, Vrindavani, you can speak also. Okay, yeah. So any other points by anyone? Like anyone would like to have any other points?
Mataji, I think surrender means to dedicate whatever we are doing to the service of Krishna.
Dedicate whatever we are doing to service of Krishna. Yeah. Yes. So, anyone else has any other points to share? All of you had given nice, very nice description, like very nice meaning to surrender. Okay, so we'll move on. We will be. One second. Let me. Yeah. So we would try to understand further on what is surrender, and why we should surrender, whom we should surrender, and what happens if we surrender to someone who's not worthy, not worthy enough, like Harshita was saying, right? Like Maya is also unworthy shelter. So such things also we would see. And then what happens if we don't surrender? So we would try to go through these points. I kept it in reading view so that if someone enters, I will be able to know. Yeah. So in next, in Shikshastakam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very nicely says, in verse 8, Ashlishava Padaratam Pinashtuma Adarshanan Marmahatam Karotuva Yata Tatava Vidadatu Lampato Mat Prananata Stusayeva Naparaha. So I hear Mahaprabhu says, I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly in his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. So this is the mood of surrender. No, when we are surrendered to Krishna, come what may, we don't keep changing. No, our faith doesn't flicker. Like how Gaurangi was telling, we are having full faith. Whatever the Lord does is for my good. This understanding is very, very important. Sometimes in life we face so many ups and downs. No, our faith gets shaken, but always we should remember that Krishna is our protector, and he will never forsake us. Avashya rakshati Krishna. No, Krishna will surely protect us. And there is one nice verse in Hari Bhakti Vilas. Actually, you will find this even in the purport of 18.66 of Bhagavad Gita, wherein this qualities of the surrendered person is all described. And interestingly, whatever you all said comes in this verse. All those qualities fit in this verse very nicely. So we'll just try to go through that verse. Here it is said, Anukulyasya sankalpaha pratikulyasya varjanam rakshishyati vishvasho goptritve varanam tata atmanikshepa karpanye shadvida sharanagatihi. So anukulyasya sankalpaha. Okay, so whatever is favorable to devotional service, we should accept that. When we are saying that we are surrendering to someone, or when we are saying that we are surrendering to Krishna, the most important thing we should remember is that to obey the instructions. Whatever Krishna desires, we should do, and whatever Krishna instructs, we should follow. Try to follow that. That is the real meaning of putting that surrender in practice. It's not that simply saying I surrender. It's not just simply raising our hands or doing obeisances alone, but we should follow the instructions. So accepting things which are favorable to devotional service. For example, like waking up for Mangalarti, right? That is the instruction given by Maharaj, Acharyas, and it's an appointment with Krishna, right? Like we might actually feel lazy, right? We might want to sleep more, or we tend to have that lethargy, but because it is favorable to devotional service, if we are surrendering to Krishna, whatever is favorable to devotional service, we should accept that. We should try to follow that process. And next point is rejecting things which are not favorable to devotional service. Like Harshita was mentioning, right? Like we should not give way to Maya. So whatever comes in way of taking us away from Krishna, such things we should reject. So that is also surrender. Rejecting things which are not favorable to devotional service. If you remember, last week we were I think week before we were listening to Maharaj's class, right? The title itself was Surrender Gives Satisfaction. And in that, Maharaj was giving one example for this point. Does anyone remember? Rejecting things unfavorable to devotional service. Someone is coming. I hope they are able to join on their own. Yeah, Hare Krishna Mangala. We are just going through the session on surrender. So yeah. So anyone, any points? Like you remember that Maharaj in that class, surrender gives satisfaction. He was mentioning a point about rejecting things which are not favorable to devotional service. No, you remember he was giving that example of that fizzy drinks. Maybe if you go through the lecture again, you will come across that nice point. Maharaj was mentioning as to how we should avoid all these, intoxicating things and fizzy drinks, etc. That is also surrender. Rejecting things which are not favorable for devotional service is also surrendered. So we saw the surrender means like accepting things which are favorable to devotional service, rejecting things which are not favorable to devotional service. And third point is no rakshishyati vishvaso. Vishwas means faith, right? In Hindi or even other languages also, Vishwas means faith. To have faith that Krishna will definitely protect, always protect. That conviction that Krishna will give complete protection. That is the third quality. Then the next quality is Goptritve Varanam Tata. Goptritve Varanam Tata means accepting Krishna as one's guardian or master. Guardian means one who takes care of us, no, one who protects us. So accepting, letting the Lord, like we should not be rebellious to Lord's protection. No, accepting Krishna as one's master, guardian. And then the next quality is Atma Nikshepa. Atma Nikshepa means full self-surrender. Full self-surrender means, this is a very nice point to remember. Many times when we do something nice, some activity nicely, unknowingly or knowingly, we develop this subtle pride, subtle or gross pride. No, we think that we have done it. We have this mentality that we are doing it. No, we are the doers. That mentality should not be there. No, whatever we are doing, it's only because of the mercy of the Lord. That dependence on Supreme Lord, no, for what all our actions and desires. That is called full self-surrender. And then the next quality is humility. So these are the 6 qualities which are nicely described in Hari Bhakti Vilas for Sharanagati. Sharanagati means surrender. 6 attributes. So any points you want to share so far, or any questions you like to ask? Yes or no? Okay, so you feel free to stop me anytime if you want to ask something. So now we will just proceed to the next slide. So far we saw about surrender and the mood of surrender and the 6 qualities. Now we would see as to why we should surrender, right? What is the benefit of surrendering? What is the advantage of surrendering? And we would like to meditate on those points. There is a nice story about a cow and a tiger. Once a cow would, you might have heard it earlier, but this is a very nice story which brings about the glories of being surrendered to someone. So once a cow was grazing in a forest, and tiger would start chasing it. So in the mad rush of protecting itself, it will just run hither and thither, and somehow it will enter a quicksand. It will get caught in a quicksand, and the tiger which was chasing also will, without realizing that this cow has fallen, it is in the haste of catching the cow. The tiger also jumps into the quicksand, and it is also stuck. So both are stuck in the quicksand at a little distance apart. So the tiger, even in that scenario, somehow or other, tiger wants to eat the cow. So it is trying its best to move, but the sand below keeps pulling the tiger. So he is not able to capture the cow. As the time passes, the tiger, but by its nature of being very, sorry, someone's coming. Very passionate. It is trying to. Someone is entering, right? Has someone joined? I hope it doesn't require my intervention. Okay, Mayuri Mataji. Okay. So, Hare Krishna, Mayuri Mataji. We are, yeah, Hare Krishna, Vrishali. Okay. So we will continue. So we were discussing the story on the cow and the tiger. So the tiger, in its mad rush of catching, wants to attack the cow, and it keeps it notices that the cow is remaining very calm and peaceful. It is not so agitated. So the tiger is asking, "How come you even in this situation you are very calm?" So at that time, the cow replies, uh, "If actually, every day I come to graze in this forest, and in the evening I go back home at a particular time. So, and if I don't return by that time, my master will come and search for me. So I am having that faith. No, I am feeling courageous because somehow or the other my master will come and he will pull me out of this quicksand." The tiger then roars, "No, oh, I am the master of the forest." He roars like that. Then the cow replies, "You may be the master of the forest, but in times of difficulty like this, right? Like we really need someone who can pull us out of it. Now you yourself are in the quicksand, and without the help of master, we will not be saved." And true enough, as the time passed, the evening, the person, the master came for the cow. Whoever is taking care of the cow, he came and he pulled it out, and they returned back to safety. So the point is, whenever we are surrendered to a great soul, we are always protected. We are always safe, no matter whatever difficulties we might face in life. We will be whatever difficulties come across in life, we will be able to sail through it. You all might have experienced yourself by now, or in the days ahead, you might you might see that how when we have this full faith in the Lord, when we are surrendered, even if we don't know to surrender to Krishna, if we surrender to Krishna's pure devotees like Prabhupada and Maharaj, we can very well experience how their protective hands are with us always. How they really save us in all times. So it's very important that we take shelter of them, as we were discussing in the earlier part of the session. Taking shelter means obeying their instructions. Okay, so this was one point. And then moving to the next point, about next example about Arjuna in the Kurukshetra war. Right? Like Krishna was playing the role of a chariot driver for Arjuna. And every day, every day during the daytime, the war happens between the two parties, Pandavas and Kauravas. And in the evening, they will all gather, the Pandavas in their camp and Kauravas in their camp. They will be gathering in the night to make a plan for the next day. What vyuha, how to fight, how to attack the enemies. Like each one would be planning. So spies will be there. As they are planning, there will be spies in both the camps to find out what they are planning without their knowledge. They try to bring news from both the camps to each other. Like they would each party would have spies. So once you all know, right, like how the one night the Kaurava side, Duryodhana, he begins to scold Bhishma Dev. He's saying, "You are not at all loyal. You are staying on our side, but your love and affection is for Pandavas only. So that's why you are not fighting properly. You are not killing anyone. So he begins to blaspheme Bhishmadev so much. Although Bhishmadev was very loyal, no, we know that how great and truthful Bhishmadev is. But still, Duryodhana, because of his bad nature, he keeps blaming and he disrespects Bhishmadev like anything. So Bhishmadev at a point, he becomes very angry, and he says, now I take a vow that tomorrow he takes 5 arrows, and he shows each arrow is for each of the Pandavas, Yudhishthir, Arjuna, Bhima, Nakula, Sahadeva. These 5 arrows I will use tomorrow, and I will kill the Pandavas. The only thing is, like, he would say, like, Krishna should not come in between, like that he would say, and he takes the vow. And when this plan is happening, so the spy comes to the Pandavas camp, and they say this message, that Bhishmadev has taken this vow. So tomorrow it's good. It's definitely, Bhishma is a very Maharati, very great warrior. So tomorrow is going to be a very, very tough day for the Pandavas. So the spy gives this message and goes away. And then after hearing this message, Arjuna goes and sleeps peacefully. He just sleeps peacefully. Imagine if we are announced that, if we come to know that tomorrow we are going to, it's like a life or death situation, and almost death, 90%, 99.99% death. It's not possible. If you remember, Bhishmadev and Lord Parashuram fought. When they fought with each other, it was like nobody could win each other. Like, it was such a great warrior, I mean to say. So if we know that such a situation is there, we will not feel like sleeping, right? We will be very restless. But Arjuna goes and sleeps very peacefully, and Krishna is walking, restless manner. Krishna is walking here in the camp. What to do? Bhishma has taken this what to do? He's thinking, and he finds Arjuna sleeping peacefully, and he comes and wakes up Arjuna. What is it? What is this? You are not at all worried. Tomorrow Bhishmadev might do anything, like he has taken this vow. Then Arjuna very nicely says, Krishna, you are with us, and you are worrying for us. So why should I worry? So there is no need to worry. He would say like that. In this regard, there is a very nice point which Maharaj says. I think it's in the calendar quote also, I think. Maharaj says, our business is to chant Krishna's name, and it is Krishna's business to solve our problems. So we should take this point very nicely. Many times in life, we might not face situation like what Arjuna faced or any other devotee in Bhagavatam faced, but we might have, according to our own time, place, circumstance, our own limitations, we might have some problem or the other which is really putting us in a very perplexed situation. We really don't know what to decide, how to do. We might be in such a situation, right? At time we should always remember these golden words of Maharaj. That is our business to chant Krishna's names, and it is Krishna's business to solve our problems. So we should always take shelter of the holy names. We should surrender to the holy names. And then, next example is about how Srila Prabhupada himself, we know, right? Like in such a old age. When in the age of, we don't know whether we will even live for till 60s or 70s, but Prabhupada started at such a elderly age with just because he was simply surrendered to the words of his spiritual master, His Holiness, His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, who told him that you should go and preach in the West. So he was surrendered to the instructions of his spiritual master, and I think in the next slide I will show you one lecture link wherein Maharaj also glorifies Prabhupada so much. And he says how Prabhupada entered a place where he had never been earlier, such a foreign country for him, in the old age, in such a cold, completely opposite climate to that of India. And he doesn't know anyone there, but simply depending on Krishna, like whatever 6 qualities we saw in the previous slide, right? That full, all these qualities are like full and 100%. That verse is like 100% for Srila Prabhupada. No, like how, Maharaj very nicely says, Prabhupada was surrendered to Srimad Bhagavatam. No? He depended on Bhagavatam. If you had gone through that Marka and Bhagavad Dharma song written, Jaladuta song written by Prabhupada also, you will see even in that song, Prabhupada quotes that first canto, second chapter verses, Shinvatava Swakata Krishna. He quotes that series of verses, and he had that full faith, no, in Krishna, that Krishna would help him to change the minds of these people who are affected by Maya. He says that, no, I don't have any capacity to change these people. I don't have. That song is very, very beautiful bhajan, which reflects. No, he says, I don't have bhakti. I don't have people. My spiritual master has named me Bhakti Vedanta, but neither I have Bhakti nor I know Vedanta, he says. Prabhupada very humbly submits himself like that. And he completely depends. No, he prays to Krishna. If you want to make me dance, you make me dance, he says. And because of his surrender, we can see how only because of him we are also connected now in this Google Meet. We have such a big movement he could start, and such a big revolution he could create all over the world. Millions of souls are being saved continuously by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So that such a great success could happen because of his surrender, because of one single one person's sincere surrender. Such a great thing could happen. So we can see the power of surrender, right? How if we surrender to the spiritual master, how if we surrender to his instruction, how if we surrender to Srimad Bhagavatam, miracles can happen. It's a really great miracle, right? Like sometimes it's not possible to even ask people who are born in this Vedic culture, in the Bharatvarsh itself, in India itself, who know Vedic culture, even to go and tell them, preach them, or tell them to follow the Vedic culture. It's such a difficult thing. The people are so rebellious. But how bravely Prabhupada went into a foreign land, and he people who didn't know anything about the culture of wearing proper dress, or taking bath, or following any of the regulative, all the 4 regulative principles were like very what to say, they the opposite was true, regular for them, right? Like the opposite of meat eating was a regular thing. Hare Krishna. Are you able to hear? Any problem?
Yes, Mataji, we can hear you.
Okay. So the meat eating or intoxication, illicit behavior, everything was like a normal thing for them. That's what they have been seeing the generations. They like, we learn from our parents, right? Like how they behave, we try to imitate them. So any child born in those countries were so unfortunate, we should say, that they saw only that. What their parents did, they just thought that's the way. So such a unusual, it's a great miracle. What Srila Prabhupada has done is such a great miracle, and we are very fortunate. At least we are born a few years after Prabhupada has left, at least. So we should always have this love and affection for Prabhupada, and we should surrender. If we really love Prabhupada, we should surrender to his instruction. We should obey and try to follow his instructions, and try to study his books. How much great efforts he has put to give these valuable things. Like Maharaj mentions in that lecture, I am please definitely try to hear that lecture also. The lecture title is Our Behavior Must Be Crystal Clear. So in that lecture, Maharaj says, Prabhupada, if not for Prabhupada, how we would not even touch Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Bhagavatam was existing in Sanskrit. How many of us would have even touched Bhagavatam? So we should definitely take shelter of Srila Prabhupada and his books. So that's
Mataji, what was the lecture's name?
Our Behavior Must Be Crystal Clear. In the next slide, I am giving the link for that also. Maybe afterwards I'll put in the group also. Okay. It's in Maharaj's website only. Our behavior must be crystal clear. Yeah. So next thing is these are examples which Maharaj has given regarding surrender. He always tells this nice example. Whenever I hear this example, it's like, we can visualize what he's saying, what Maharaj is saying. I mean, Maharaj says, like, when a child is traveling with its parents on a long drive, somewhere going from one town to another, you are going in a car, and in the highway somewhere there is a breakdown. So when the car breaks down, the child simply comes out and it has some toys, right? And it just sits in the footpath and it just begins to play with the toys. Both the mother and father, they would be really worried as to how to get this fixed, how to call the mechanic, when will the person come, what was the problem, what is the nearest petrol bunk or something like that. They would be very anxious and they will be very worried. But the child will be peacefully sitting, right? Like it will not even know, okay, somehow parents will fix the problem, then I will be able to carry on. So Maharaj says that simple faith which a child has on the parents, that kind of innocent faith we should have on Krishna. So when this life itself is like a journey, right? Like we might have breakdowns anytime, anywhere in our in the course and the journey of our life. But whenever there is some breakdown, we should, just like how the child had full faith, like Krishna will take care, like earlier we were saying, it's our business to chant Krishna's names. The child is just playing, but for us we can chant Krishna's names. If we chant Krishna's names, it's Krishna's business to solve the problem. He will definitely solve the problem. So this is also a very nice example of surrender. And the next example is about devotee, His Grace Dayal Baldev Prabhu. Maharaj actually mentions this example in the below lecture, which I was mentioning. So this person, actually his other name is David. Like before initiation, his name is David. He was doing night shifts. He was actually a night watchman, I think. He was working like that in London, and somehow by Krishna's arrangement, he came to one of the programs which Maharaj was hosting in London. He was one of the satsang programs. He met Maharaj, and Maharaj, how nicely he personally interacts with everyone, right? So he was when he looked at this person itself, Maharaj was asking, "Oh, how are you? What are you doing?" and other things. So then that devotee said that he is working in nights, and Maharaj was telling, "You please stop that. Night jobs, actually Maharaj never encourages, as you know, like night jobs are totally against our health. It really spoils our health also." So Maharaj was telling, "You are almost dying. Why you are doing this? You please don't go to this night job." And interestingly, like this person, he took the instruction of Maharaj. He followed, like he left the job. After leaving the job, he called up Maharaj and asked, like in London at least there was this facility, right? Like even if you don't work, the government gives some welfare amount. Some in US, UK and other countries, I think they have this scheme also. So that devotee was joking, Maharaj, now actually what for unemployed members, the government gives some money. So he was joking to Maharaj, more than my salary, what I earned by doing night job, now I'm getting enough money. Now it's like this. When I heard the story, it was like this other story. You remember Narada Muni and that, who was that person? The hunter. Mrigari, right? Like Mrigari. Mrigari. So Mrigari will ask Narada Muni, you are asking me to break the bow and arrow, then what will be how will I be maintained? That time Narada Muni will say, don't worry, you just break the bow and everything will be arranged, he would say. Like that. For this David, Maharaj told, leave night job. And the moment he left night job, he got this allowance from the government also. And most importantly, see, it's not becoming lazy. That the thing is, because he took the right shelter. and he was also very sincere. He just didn't no relax. Okay, I left the job, now unemployment allowance is coming, let me just sit and relax. He didn't do like that. He called up Maharaj and he said, Maharaj, now I am available, like I am free, what should I do, he asked. Then Maharaj said, you come to Manor. There is a temple, no, in London. I think some of you might have visited. So there's a nice temple called Bhaktivedanta Manor. So Maharaj told, you come to Manor and you serve there. So he started doing service there, and later, now actually few years ago we met the devotee in London, and he's a pujari there. Like he was telling very nice memories about Maharaj also. Maybe to want of time I will. I'm not sharing that right now, but later some other time I will share. But we can see how surrendered he was, how dedicated he was to Maharaj. One point he said really I liked a lot. Like he was telling in one of the class, Maharaj said, it seems we can easily chant 25 rounds every day. So all the devotees, they got very, like for us sometimes 16 rounds itself is like a great struggle. Like so they were wondering, what is Maharaj telling? We can chant 25 rounds easily. So after the class, this Prabhu went and asked Maharaj, Maharaj, what is it like you're saying 25 rounds we can chant? How is it possible to chant 25 rounds? He asked. Then Maharaj told him, it seems, see, in the early morning you do, you wake up early morning for Mangalati. After Mangalati, if you sit and do some rounds, you can do mostly at least 12 to 16 rounds. You can easily do. If you are waking up early in the morning, you can do. And then Maharaj was telling, like after the Guru Puja and other things, there will be some time gap, no, between when you in the temple for prasadam, there would be a queue, right, to go and get the prasadam. So when you are standing in the queue, you can chant 1 or 2 rounds. So 3 times you are eating prasadam. So every time when you are standing in the queue, you can chant 1 or 2 rounds. So like that, later, no, Maharaj showed him the time intervals, no, like pockets of intervals of time during the day, wherein you can just do 1 or 2 rounds here and there. If you do, it is very easy to do 25 rounds. Can you imagine this devotee? She is surrendered to Maharaj. He took it to heart, and from that day, it seems for him, his normal routine itself is chanting 25 rounds. And he had this nice desire to serve the deities. At the time when he got this instruction from Maharaj, he was not yet initiated. Many years ago, I'm saying. But because of his surrender to a pure Bhagavata like Maharaj, now he's the pujari in that Gokulanandan temple, Radha Gokulanandan temple. For many years, he's serving the deities. And Maharaj in this lecture also very nicely says, like how Maharaj had been to that David Prabhu, like his room earlier, and how he was telling how everything was very unorganized. And Maharaj beautifully mentions, once you surrender, once you take the right shelter, then everything is organized. His room is also very clean and organized now. So what a big change or transformation is possible when we take shelter, when we surrender, when we really surrender to a pure devotee, and when we really follow their instructions. Whatever bad habits or whatever, sometimes knowingly we do bad things, right? We know it is wrong, but helplessly, or we are so attached, or we are so conditioned, or whatever, we can say that we are not able to give up that habit, right? Sometimes we might have, we have such habits. All such things become very easy to give up, or when we surrender, when we follow the instructions of a pure devotee. So his was a very inspiring example which we saw in London. I just thought of sharing about him. And one last point on why we should surrender, because is Krishna himself promises. Krishna gives a nice promise for us in Bhagavad Gita 18.66. He says, Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam raja aham tam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaka. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall protect you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear, he says. So the moment we surrender to Krishna, whatever sinful reactions are there, Krishna says, no, he will take care of it. So you please don't fear, he says. So Krishna has also promised this. So it's very appropriate that we surrender unto him. So if we surrender, we'll be satisfied, we'll feel safe, we'll be able to experience the security or safety, and we'll be successful in life also. So it's important that we surrender. And to whom we should surrender, and this is a very, very nice verse. Later, if you have whenever possible at your own time and pace at home, you can go through this verse. This verse is spoken by Devahuti Mata to her son Kapila Muni. As you all know, Kapila Muni is incarnation of Krishna himself. So she says in this verse, Tam tvagataham sharanam saranyam sabritya samsarataro kutaram jignasayaham prakrute purushasya namami saddharma vidam varishtam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Devahuti continued, I have taken shelter of your lotus feet because you are the only person of whom to take shelter. You are the axe which can cut the tree of material existence. I therefore offer my obeisances unto you, who are the greatest of all transcendentalists, and I inquire from you as to the relationship between man and woman and between spirit and matter. So this is the lecture link which I mentioned. In this lecture, actually Maharaj is giving class on this verse only, and the whole class he is taking on this particular word, Sharanam, Sharanyam. So Sharanyam, actually beautifully Prabhupada explains. Sharanya means Krishna, it seems. Sharanyam means worth taking shelter of. So Krishna is the only person who is worth taking shelter of. All other shelters will crumble, right? But Krishna is the all glorious eternal shelter. Firm shelter is Krishna. So it is appropriate that we take shelter of him, Sharanam. And as we were discussing in the previous slide, so if we take shelter of the right person, then only like she's mentioning, right, the axe will be, that axe will be there. Axe is for cutting our attachments to the material existence. All our anarthas, all our bad habits could be cut off by the axe of detachment if we take the right shelter. So this is verse also is very nice. You can go through the verse from Bhagavatam book also, and please definitely go through the lecture of Maharaj regarding this verse. Someone is coming again. 1 second. How do I go to think? Okay, I don't know how to go back, so I'll just quickly finish this. So what is the effect of doing wrong surrender? If we don't take shelter of the right person, then it's like blind following the blind, right? If that person who is leading, he himself is bad, he falls into the ditch, and we also fall into the ditch. So we can see the examples of how Kauravas, Karna, they all took the wrong shelter. They took shelter of Shakuni, and everyone were destroyed. The whole dynasty was destroyed. By taking the wrong shelter, we only suffer in our life. So we should always take the right shelter, and we should surrender unto Supreme Lord Krishna. Sorry, someone was trying to come in. Okay, I hope they are joined. So